The mind is either a fortress or a prison, and most people have no idea who's guarding the gate. In a world addicted to distraction, the ones who focus rule. This is not just a video, this is a mirror, a reminder that while you chase peace in the world, you've forgotten the war within. Today we enter the ancient battlefield of the mind, guided by the wisdom of the Stoics, warriors of thought, masters of self, builders of unshakable inner worlds. This is the power of mindfulness. Not soft, not slow, but savage, focused, stoic. You are not your chaos. You are the observer, the watcher behind the storm. Marcus Aurelius didn't just rule an empire, he ruled his own thoughts. He once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That wasn't poetry, that was strategy. Mindfulness, to the Stoics, wasn't about escaping life. It was about mastering it. They called it prosoche, the discipline of focused attention. Every day they trained it, not with incense or mantras, but with fire, with choice, with silence. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." Right now, your attention is under siege. Apps, headlines, dopamine on demand. But the Stoics knew, if you lose your attention, you lose your direction, and eventually yourself. Here's how they fought back. Begin the day with intention, not with scrolling, not with reaction, but by remembering. I control my thoughts. I shape my reality. Observe your emotions without becoming them. Anger rises? Notice it. Don't feed it. Return to the present again and again. The breath, the now, the truth. Mindfulness is not perfection. It's returning. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Mindfulness is the sword that cuts that illusion and reveals what is real. Every time you pause instead of panic, you reclaim power. Every time you focus instead of fear, you take back control. So ask yourself, will you be ruled by your mind, or will you rule it? Because your breath is your throne, and your awareness is your empire. Claim them. What if the life you're praying for is the one you're already living, but you're too distracted to see it? Gratitude isn't soft. It's sharp. It's a weapon against the world's constant craving for more. The Stoics didn't chase happiness. They practiced it, not in perfect moments, but in ordinary ones. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." Pause right now. Look around. That breath you're taking a gift. That moment of stillness a miracle. That body you keep complaining about still carrying you. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." You see, we suffer because we forget. We forget what we have. We forget what we've survived. We forget that this moment, this one, is the only one guaranteed. Gratitude is remembering. It's choosing to see the light in what you already hold. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." The world will always offer you a reason to feel behind, to feel like you're not enough. But Stoicism whispers, "You already are." The Stoics practiced presence like warriors. When they ate, they tasted. When they walked, they walked. When they loved, they were all in. Modern life wants you everywhere. Stoicism demands you be here. Presence is not passive, it's power. It's staring at your life and saying, "I will not miss this." So breathe in, come back to your body, your breath, this fleeting second in eternity. Gratitude is not saying life is perfect. It's saying I choose to see what is still beautiful. And that changes everything. Because the most powerful life is the one you're actually awake for. Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. This is not poetry. It is war strategy. a mental command passed from emperor to emperor. Life will change. What you hold will slip. What you fear may come. What you love may go. And still, you must not bend, Seneca warned. Attachment is a trap. The tighter you grip the present, the more pain you invite from the future. He didn't say don't love. He said, love wisely, hold gently, expect nothing, appreciate everything. Change is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your test, your initiator. Epictetus reminded us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That is your battlefield. Not out there, in here, in the silence between trigger and reaction, between loss and the lesson. How do you build the strength to accept change? You start with truth. Everything ends. Everything changes. Nothing is owed to you. The seasons change. People die, fortunes fade, and so will you. But that is not cause for despair. It is the key to freedom. He who accepts impermanence walks with calm steps through storms. Modern minds panic. They crave control. But the Stoic builds his house not in certainty, but in resilience. Mindfulness trains this muscle. When you're present, you see what's here, not what's missing. You breathe in what is, not what was. And then comes power. To choose how you see, to find meaning inside chaos. Ask not, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this shaping in me? Aristotle wrote, adaptability is a virtue, not the brute strength of denial, but the grace of response. What you resist, you empower. What you embrace, you transform. Change is not here to destroy you. It is here to refine you. It is not chaos. It is choreography, seen only by those who watch with calm eyes. Modern psychology confirms what the Stoics already knew. Reframing pain as purpose turns breakdowns into breakthroughs. So let the old fall. Let the doors close. Let the chapters end. You are not what leaves. You are what stays standing. To live is to change. To master life is to welcome that change with an unshakable heart. So stand tall, not rigid but rooted, and whisper to the winds, I was made for this. We live in a world that confuses loudness with strength and silence with weakness. But true strength, the kind that changes the world, is quiet, kind, and rooted in empathy. The Stoics knew this. They believed the strongest warrior was the one who could master his emotions, not erase them, and channel them into wisdom and compassion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, what brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee. You are not an island. Your joy is bound to others. So is your pain. We are all in this together. Suffering in silence, hoping to be seen, fighting battles no one else can see. Empathy is not weakness. It's recognition that we are made of the same fears, the same dreams, the same fragile hope. Seneca said, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. So ask yourself, do you want to win arguments or heal people? Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who made others feel less alone? Epictetus didn't just teach resilience, he taught understanding. Remember, he said, that every person you meet is fighting a hard battle, even the ones who wrong you. Compassion isn't about letting people hurt you. It's about understanding why they do. Hurt people hurt people. But healed people heal people. And healing starts with empathy. So how do we live this Stoic compassion? First, we listen, truly, with our hearts, not just our ears. Behind every harsh word, there's a story. Behind every anger, there's a wound. Second, we act, not in grand gestures, but in small kindnesses, a look, a pause, a gentle word in a cruel world. These are not small things. They are revolutions. Third, we choose to care, even when it's not convenient, even when no one's watching. Because compassion isn't performance, it's character. And in a world obsessed with image, character is rebellion. Aristotle said, "Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. So be a soul worth sharing, be a shelter, a quiet presence, a reminder that kindness is still possible." Modern psychology now echoes these ancient truths. Empathy reduces stress and builds deeper meaning into our lives. So if you want to live stoically, don't just be strong, be kind. Don't just survive, help others survive too. Because at the end of all things, no one remembers how much you controlled. They remember how much you cared. Before the world wakes up, before the noise takes over, before the scroll, the rush, the race, ask yourself, who am I becoming? Because a life not reflected upon is a life lived asleep. The Stoics didn't just act, they reviewed. They paused. They inspected their hearts like warriors sharpening a blade. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, still wrote in silence, examining his motives, his decisions, his soul. He called it meditations, but really, it was maintenance of the soul. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So what are yours filled with? Fear? Resentment? Or peace? Purpose?" Seneca said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." But how do you know if your life is good? If you never stop to look. Epictetus trained his students to review every day. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What did I leave undone? Not to shame themselves, but to shape themselves. Reflection is how you turn pain into power, mistakes into messages, moments into wisdom. Here's how to start. First, make space, 5 minutes, at night. No distractions. Just you and your thoughts. Ask, what today did I do that I'm proud of? Where did I fall short? Did I live in alignment with the person I want to become? Second, write it down. Thoughts fade. Words remain. Journaling isn't just therapy. It's time travel. You're creating a map of your mind. One day you'll look back and see you were always growing, always getting closer. Third, reflect with kindness. You're not a machine. You're not meant to be perfect. You're meant to evolve. So speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. You made mistakes? Good. That means you're alive. That means you're trying. Aristotle believed that wisdom is knowing yourself, not the image, the truth. Reflection is the mirror. It shows you who you are and who you're becoming. In modern psychology, this practice of self-review has proven to reduce stress, sharpen goals, and boost long-term happiness. But the Stoics didn't do it for mental health. They did it for virtue, for truth, for the pursuit of an excellent soul. So every night, before you drift to sleep, ask yourself, did I love well? Did I grow? Did I live with courage? And if not, what will I do differently tomorrow? Because tomorrow is not promised. But your character is, and that's what you carry into every room, every trial, every breath. So don't just live examined, and in that sacred stillness, you'll discover something rare, a life that is not perfect, but deeply, fully, undeniably yours. There will come a day when life throws something at you you didn't expect, didn't want, didn't ask for, and in that moment, You'll be faced with a choice: resist or accept. Acceptance is not weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It says, I will not waste my power fighting what I cannot change. The Stoics mastered this. Epictetus said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We're not destroyed by events. We're destroyed by our refusal to accept them. The death of a loved one, the loss of a job, the betrayal of a friend. These things hurt, but resisting them, denying them, creates more pain than the event itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. Let that sink in. Even pain can fit your needs, because pain teaches, loss teaches, change transforms. Step 1, know the difference between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control other people, the weather. The Stoics saw nature as a teacher. Everything in life is always moving, evolving, dying, being born again. The tree loses its leaves. The river flows downstream. The stars explode and reform. Why should you be the only constant? You're meant to change. You're meant to grow. You're not broken for evolving. You're alive. Seneca wrote, he who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man. He was teaching us, stop fearing change. Start living boldly. To accept life, you must be with life, not in your regrets, not in your fears, but in this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Practice mindfulness to anchor yourself to now. Feel what's real. Let go of what's not. That's not just Stoic. That's freedom. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of wasted energy. Fighting the past doesn't fix it. Hating reality doesn't change it. What works is presence, wisdom, adaptation. You don't control the waves. You learn to surf them. Visualize this. A raging storm hits your ship. You can scream. You can cry. You can curse the wind, or you can adjust the sails. That's Stoicism. That's the superpower, not control, but clarity. You are not what happens to you. You are what you do about it. Seneca said, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Your pain is your proof that you're still here, still trying, still capable of rising. So let's stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? Because life is not fair, but it is yours. And that means you can turn any page, start any chapter, from any moment, including this one. What in your life are you still resisting? What reality are you still trying to rewrite? Can you surrender? Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom? There's a peace that lives just beyond resistance. You'll find it when you stop clenching your fists and start opening your hands. Accept, adapt, and advance. That's the Stoic way. That's your way forward. There will come a day when life throws something at you you didn't expect, didn't want, didn't ask for, and in that moment, you'll be faced with a choice: resist or accept. Acceptance is not weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It says, I will not waste my power fighting what I cannot change. The Stoics mastered this. Epictetus said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We're not destroyed by events. We're destroyed by our refusal to accept them. The death of a loved one, the loss of a job, the betrayal of a friend. These things hurt, but resisting them, denying them, creates more pain than the event itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. Let that sink in. Even pain can fit your needs, because pain teaches, loss teaches, change transforms. Step 1, Know the difference between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control other people, the weather. The Stoics saw nature as a teacher. Everything in life is always moving, evolving, dying, being born again. The tree loses its leaves. The river flows downstream. The stars explode and reform. Why should you be the only constant? You're meant to change. You're meant to grow. You're not broken for evolving. You're alive. Seneca wrote, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." He was teaching us, stop fearing change, start living boldly. To accept life, you must be with life, not in your regrets, not in your fears, but in this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Practice mindfulness. To anchor yourself to now, feel what's real, let go of what's not. That's not just Stoic, that's freedom. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of wasted energy. Fighting the past doesn't fix it. Hating reality doesn't change it. What works is presence, wisdom, adaptation. You don't control the waves. You learn to surf them. Visualize this. A raging storm hits your ship. You can scream. You can cry. You can curse the wind, or you can adjust the sails. That's Stoicism. That's the superpower, not control. But clarity, you are not what happens to you. You are what you do about it. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Your pain is your proof that you're still here, still trying, still capable of rising. So let's stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" Because life is not fair, but it is yours. And that means you can turn any page, start any chapter, from any moment, including this one. What in your life are you still resisting? What reality are you still trying to rewrite? Can you surrender? Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom? There's a peace that lives just beyond resistance. You'll find it when you stop clenching your fists and start opening your hands. Accept, adapt, and advance. That's the Stoic way. That's your way forward. Life isn't lived best by accident. It's lived on purpose. That's the Stoic mindset. Don't drift. Decide. Don't react. Respond. Don't survive. Live intentionally. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is where philosophy becomes action, where ideas become choices, where intentions become your identity. Waking up with purpose, not just to chase pleasure or avoid pain, but to serve virtue. Choosing how you think, how you speak, how you act, regardless of how the world treats you. The Stoics weren't just thinkers, they were doers. They believed every day was an opportunity to sculpt the soul, to train the mind. Like a warrior trains the body, not perfectly, but consciously. 1. Focus on what you can control. 2. Live according to nature, your true self. 3. Practice daily discipline. Focus on what you can control. You can't control the weather, or other people, or the market, or time, but you can control your thoughts, your choices, your focus, and that's enough. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." This is freedom. Not the absence of rules, but the presence of clarity. Live according to nature. This doesn't mean forests and rivers. It means your nature, your reason, your virtue, your role as a human being. You were not made for luxury. You were made for meaning. You were not born to consume. You were born to contribute. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with what I value? Or am I just running from discomfort? Nature teaches us everything has a role, even hardship, even challenge. even pain. Practice daily discipline. Stoicism isn't a one-time insight. It's a daily practice, like brushing your teeth, like sharpening a sword, like stretching a muscle. Seneca said, "While we teach, we learn. While we train, we grow." Don't wait for a peaceful life to start practicing peace. Practice peace now. Practice wisdom now. Practice courage now. Before your day begins, begin within. Marcus Aurelius would reflect in the early morning. Today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, but they are just humans like me. It's not pessimism. It's preparation. If you expect the world to be easy, you'll suffer. If you expect it to be difficult, you'll thrive. Before sleep, ask yourself, what did I do well? What can I improve? Did I live by my principles? This isn't guilt. It's guidance. As Epictetus taught, the unexamined life is not worth living. But the examined life, it's unshakable. Freedom from impulse. Your phone buzzes. Your mind wanders. You want sugar, or to scroll, or to rage, or to retreat. But you pause. You breathe. You remember who you are. That pause, that space between impulse and action, that is Stoicism. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. You are not your urges. You were not born to kneel. You were not born to obey blindly. You were not born to fit into a system designed to drain you. You were born to choose. That's what makes you dangerous. If you want to be free, don't wish for everything to go your way. Wish to control your own mind. Epictetus. The modern world is not neutral. It's designed to hijack your attention, to flood you with noise, to fracture your will. But the Stoic sees the machine and chooses to step outside it. The system feeds on reaction. Click, scroll, buy, rage, repeat. That's the loop. Your anger is monetized. Your envy is data. Your insecurity is fuel. Every impulse. Tracked, sold, weaponized. But the Stoic breaks the loop. Because he breaks the reaction. No man is free who is not master of himself. Stoic maxim. The system can't control what it can't predict. And it can't predict a man who governs his own mind. Why Stoicism is a threat. True Stoicism creates ungovernable men. Not chaotic, not rebellious, but sovereign. Rooted, self-possessed. Unbreakable. You can't bait him, can't guilt him, can't hurt him. He lives by virtue, not viral trends. He is a king who fears nothing, craves nothing, and depends on no one to live rightly. Seneca. That man is dangerous to the system because he needs nothing from it. Build your fortress within. In a noisy world, silence is rebellion. In a distracted world, focus is power. In a dependent world, self-control is sovereignty. The Stoic doesn't isolate. He fortifies. He builds a mind that can't be hijacked. He builds clarity where others have confusion. You want peace? Build it inside. You want power? Start with your focus. You want purpose? Define your principles. You don't need the system's approval, only your own. They want you addicted. Addicted to dopamine, addicted to attention, addicted to approval, addicted to escape. Because addicted people don't question, they don't rebel, they don't rise. But the Stoic sees the trap. He watches the bait and doesn't bite. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. True Stoic freedom, unplugged from lies, untouched by trends, unowned by fear. How to practice this today? 1. Limit what enters your mind. If you wouldn't eat trash, don't consume it mentally. 2. Guard your attention. Every moment is a vote. for who you're becoming. 3. Detach from fake metrics. Likes, followers, validation. Not real, not relevant. 4. Stand ask, who profits from my distraction? Then starve them of your energy. 5. Reclaim solitude. If you can't sit alone for an hour, you're not free. You're chained to stimulation. The Stoic chooses presence, focus, depth, stillness. He doesn't chase 1,000 things. He masters one. The modern Stoic code. Simple, unbreakable, untouchable. This is what the world fears. A man with no leash. This isn't just the end of a series. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Because now, you know too much to go back. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Anyone can watch. Few will apply. Fewer still will become. But you didn't come this far to stay the same. What the world needs right now. Not more noise. Not more ego. Not more mindless followers. The world needs still minds, clear eyes, strong hearts. People who don't fold when things fall apart. People who walk with purpose, not popularity. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. That's your mission. Not perfection, but presence. Integrity. Virtue. What you've learned. You've learned that control begins in the mind. That freedom is inner, not granted. That emotion is to be guided, not suppressed. That obstacles reveal who you really are. And most importantly, you've learned to live by your values, not by trends, likes, or fear. That makes you rare. That makes you dangerous. What comes next? Now you choose. Will you stay a spectator or become a builder? A doer? A force? This world doesn't need another critic. It needs a pillar. Someone unshakable. Someone real. Someone who walks the Stoic path. When no one is watching, you become what you give your attention to. Epictetus. So choose your inputs. Guard your time. Sharpen your mind. Deepen your character. Start with the small things, then scale your soul. The Stoic isn't special. He just chooses differently. He chooses calm in crisis, clarity in chaos, discipline over impulse, honor over hype. You can too. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Don't wait. Don't wish. Decide. Then act. Final words. Don't follow the Stoic path. Walk it. Let your silence be loud. Let your values lead. And when life pushes, don't flinch. Stand grounded. Look it in the eye. And smile. You were made for this. Live not as though you had 1,000 years, but as though death were at your shoulder. Marcus Aurelius. This is your time. This is your stand. Be unshakable. Be authentic. Be stoic. You don't need to fear change. You were built for it. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny. Marcus Aurelius. What could be more perfectly tailored to your growth than the very thing you're resisting? Change feels like chaos, but it's often alignment in disguise. The old life has to burn, so the next one can breathe. Seneca said, "Attachment is the root of disappointment. When you cling, you suffer, because nothing stays. No moment, no person, not even you." The Stoics didn't resist change. They rode it like a current. They knew change is not loss, it's transition. From one form of strength to another. You lose a job. You gain a calling. You lose someone. You gain perspective. You lose control. You gain clarity. Only if you choose to see it. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment of them. Stop labeling change as bad. Start labeling it necessary." 3 ways to embrace change like a Stoic. 1. Acknowledge impermanence. Everything you love and will fade. Everything you hate will pass. So live in the middle. Hold loosely. Breathe deeply. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. 2. Be mindful, not mindless. The more present you are, the less you fear the future. Mindfulness isn't silence, it's attention to now. And now is always manageable. 3. Ask better questions. Instead of why me, ask, what is this trying to teach me? What old identity is ending? What part of me is ready to grow? Growth wears the mask of discomfort, but it's still growth. Nature loves to change what exists and make something new like it. Marcus Aurelius. That includes you. Let it. Change is the fire that refines. You are not breaking. You are becoming. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Let go of the version of you that was only built for survival. Step into the version that's built for transformation. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water. Marcus Aurelius. You can't stop the waves, but you can decide who you are in the middle of them. So, are you going to resist the tide or surf it? Because either way, it's already rising. He who is brave is free. Seneca. And the bravest thing you can do? Change with the moment, instead of clinging to the past. This is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. Change isn't chaos, it's calling. Pick it up. Take a moment. Breathe. You've made it through. But this journey, it's just beginning. An unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Reflection is not about regret. It's about realignment. It's about making sure you're still walking toward the person you promised yourself you'd become. The Stoics paused every day to ask, did I live by my values? Did I grow in wisdom? Did I act with courage, justice, and self-control? And now, so can you. Make reflection a ritual. At the end of each day, ask, what did I do well? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? Write it down. Say it out loud. But don't skip it. Your future self is watching. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. So guard your thoughts, feed your mind, and walk with intention. The world is loud, but stillness is power. Take time to disconnect from noise and reconnect with you. The real you, the one who doesn't perform for likes, the one who acts on principle, not popularity. Live not for applause, but for the cause. Unknown. The cause of truth, of clarity, of purpose. The cause of becoming your most genuine self. We don't become great by accident. We become great by alignment, by living according to values, not vibes, to principles, not pressure. Look around. Everyone is chasing more, but the Stoic chases meaning. That's rare. That's powerful. And that's what you're doing right now. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. So stop replaying failures. Start replaying what you've learned. You're not behind. You're building. Before you go, remember this. You are a mosaic of every lesson you've survived, every moment of stillness, every decision to pause instead of react, every breath taken in anger but exhaled in peace. That's power. That's virtue. That's you. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. You don't need to preach. You just need to live it. Quietly. Boldly. Authentically. So as this journey closes, let your real one begin. You don't need to change the world today. Just change your intention, and the rest will follow. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. You're not here by chance. You're here for a reason. So live on purpose. Outro message. Thank you for walking this Stoic path with me. But don't let the wisdom stop here. Click the playlist on screen to keep feeding your mind, fueling your growth, and forging your best self. This isn't goodbye, it's a checkpoint. So let's keep reflecting, keep learning, keep rising until we meet again. Live not for applause, but for the cause, your cause. See you on the next step of the journey.